It is time for the next installment in my declutter series. I'm going to show you my whole collection and I'm going to declutter at the same time. And this episode is going to be my bronzer and face palette declutter. I actually haven't added that many bronzers this year, but I have added some extra face palettes and I think there's some things that I definitely can get rid of. So let's get into it. Here we have my bronzers over here, face palettes over here, and some random things that I grabbed out of baskets, to review baskets, new things that I'm still reviewing. Those are over here. So my bronzer collection actually hasn't grown immensely. It is like pretty good. It's nothing too crazy for a year. I haven't been super into bronzers this year. I have gotten a few extra face palettes for sure. We're just gonna go through everything. I do want to like cut it down a little bit at least. Alright, so here I have one of my newer products in my collection. I did buy this one myself. This is not PR from Flower Nose. This is a Flower Nose Butterfly Cloud Color Collection Embossed Highlight and Contour Palette in 02 Tawny Tea. So I quite like the highlighter in here. I quite like the smaller bronzer in here. The bigger one looked a little blushy on me. I think it's a little too deep. This shade I still have to try. I think the packaging is amazing. Still reviewing this one, so definitely not gonna decide just yet like if I'm gonna declutter that or not. I'm also still reviewing this Holiday Wanderlights Bronze Signature Contour Stick by Kiko Milano. This is a pretty nice shade for me. It's really light. It's also quite creamy and the shape of it doesn't really work with that a lot, but I do like it. I think I'm gonna keep it in the end. I'm gonna do a little bit of a zoom. Then this Kiko Milano Charming Escape Silky Bronzer in 01 Tender Honey. I really like. It's a little on the warm side for me, but it's also quite light, so I feel like that kind of like balances it out. I also really like the packaging. I'm gonna be keeping that one. I have here the Glam Shop Contourina Mini Face Palette, and I have to say I am gonna review this in my next new makeup updates. I didn't like this. I feel like none of the times that I used this, I could make my cheeks look somewhat good. They always looked pretty weird, blotchy, uneven. It didn't look smooth. I didn't like this face palette on me at all. I feel like this was all too dark, but also the blushes didn't look smooth on my cheeks. So after my review, probably gonna end up decluttering that one pretty soon, but that's gonna be like my next declutter. I do want to declutter with you. Then one of my favorite bronzers in my collection is this Nala Skin Bronzing in Ambra. This is a Big Gelée bronzer. I have used this so much and it's looking like it. I love this stuff. This is amazing. This Unearthly Cosmetics High Temp Glowing Bronzer is a nice kind of like bronzer topper. It's a little too glowy to use on its own, but I do like it to add to a cheek look, to kind of like layer it. So I'm gonna review that in my next new makeup updates as well. Then I have here this Catrice Bronzing Cushion Stick from the Summer Obsessed collection. This was way too deep for me. Also, I hate this packaging. I am thinking of putting this product, I also have another shade that is my correct shade. I'm thinking of putting this product in my worst of the year, because I hate the packaging so much. This is a declutter. Is it my first declutter? I think so. Then one of my favorite cream bronzers in my collection is the Kiko Sculpting Touch Creamy Stick Contour in 200. I really like the shade. I really like how this works. You can see I've used this a bunch. It is not too creamy, but it's also not too stiff. It's just really easy to work with. One of my like favorites, one of my staples in my collection. Then I have here the Buttermelt palette from the NYX Christmas collection. I do really enjoy these. I am gonna give this a pretty good review. Like this shade I'm not really gonna use. It's too orange for me, but this bronzer I really like. This blush I really like. They do smell pretty sweet, so if you don't like scented products, like these are a lot. These blushes I really like. This bronzer is not usable for me. Like if I could kind of like switch them around and make my perfect palette, it would have been amazing. But I do like the formulas in here and the palettes are pretty cute. Then here I have the Cream Cheek palette from the Revolution and Mean Girls collab. This is obviously drugstore, but I do like the quality of this. I do like the shades in here. They're a little warm for me, but I do like the idea of this. And this one you can use to make things a little bit more cool tone, because it's really like this sheer berry, like you can sheer that out a little bit. I do like this Cream Cheek formula. I think this palette is pretty cute. It's gonna be in my new makeup updates. This is the Rare Beauty Bronzer Stick in Bright Side. It's a pretty nice shade. I think it's really easy to use. I did give it a little bit of a so-so review at first because I felt like the packaging like didn't close well enough, but you really just have to press down until it clicks. So no complaints about the packaging anymore. I'm gonna keep it because I do like this formula. I have to use it a little more. Then I have here the Full Fantasy Blush palette with Lunar Beauty and Laurel Los Angeles. And I do really, if I can open it, why can't I open it? I do really enjoy this blush palette. The highlighters in this are really beautiful. I really like the blushes in here, especially Sandbar and Pink Blossom, really beautiful. I'm keeping this. I put this to the side because I wanted to use it more. Then we have the Blush Aesthetic palette by Laura Lee. This one, haven't really gotten into it. A lot of the shades I don't really love. And I don't feel like the shades in here are really... I'm not even showing you this full palette. And I don't feel like the shades in here are fully on my alley. They're just not exactly what I'm looking for. Like, I do like this shade, for example. But am I going to keep the whole palette for that shade? I think it's time to declutter this. Like, I need some space in my life. And this whole declutter is really the epitome of everything has got to get more messy before it can be more organized. Like my room, it looks like a makeup explosion. Okay, this is another declutter. And then I have two Sigma bronzers. I got these in PR. I got medium and I got light. And I think I might be able to get away with medium when I'm really tan. It's not that far from light. I'm gonna be keeping these two. I am still reviewing these. This is quite a nice formula though. I'm probably gonna give this a pretty good review. Alright, let's get into the other face palettes. Here I have the Kika Milano Beauty Roar Flawless Look face palette in Zero on Beauty Statement. I think this is a pretty cute palette, but it's not very practical. This bronzer is too warm for me. This blush is kind of nice. I did keep it for the highlighter, but I have enough highlighters. I think I'm gonna declutter this. Then here we have the Catrice Glowy Face Palette from the Summer Obsessed collection. I think these powders are pretty nice. I do like the highlighters. The bronzer is not for me. The highlighters I think are really like nicely baked highlighters, but do I want to keep it for these highlighters that I feel are nice, but I don't know. Okay, this is not swatching perfectly because I just put cream on my hands, but these are the highlighters. I kind of feel like I want to get rid of this. Like, I think it's a nice palette. I like the packaging, but just the fact that I don't like all three of these shades makes me want to get rid of it because I don't dip into face palettes unless I really love them. I'm gonna declutter it, but I'm gonna see how I feel about it. I might change my mind. And then we have the Pat McGrath and Bridgerton, like the first collab. And this is a face palette with two blushes and a highlighter. I kind of want to keep it for one more round, also because it was pretty expensive, but I never really use it. I haven't really used it since I got this. I should force myself to use this, and then after I should just like make a decision. Then here we have the Mae by Mitchell Living in Pink blush book, like the mini blush book. And I really like this one. I like the formulas in here. I think it's really cute. I like these two lighter pinks, but also like the mix with the darker ones. I'm gonna keep that. Then the Catrice Carrier Gouge face palette. That's pretty old in my collection. Like, I think I reviewed this like 2-3 years ago. I think I quite like this, but I never reach into this. Like, I do remember my look being really nice back then, and that is a really nice looking highlighter, but also I never reach for this. Like, I feel like a lot of people would really want to have this palette. Ooh, that highlighter is really nice, but is there still a point to me keeping this in my collection? That is a question. Like, it's pretty cute. It's kind of like the Charlotte Tilbury vibe. I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough to pull me in. Again, I have to be realistic. I'm gonna declutter this one. Then we have the Catrice Coty Glow Eye and Cheek palette, and I do really like it. Here we have also a really nice highlighter. I really love the blush in here. The eyeshadows are really nice, and the whole vibe just really pulls me in with this one. I think I will reach for this one again, so I'm gonna keep that one. I have here the Kiko Irresistible Total Look Face Powder Palette. This has 6 shades. This is really nice. I have to use it again. Beautiful highlighters, beautiful bronzers, beautiful blushes. One is more like matte skin-like and one is more glowy. I think this is really nice. And I do really like the packaging. It's basic, but it's sturdy. We also have this one, and this is the Contour Obsession Multi-Finish Blush and Bronzer Face. Oh, wait. I'm just saying things. I am just saying nonsense. But where is my other face palette? I need to go look for it. Okay, so this is the Multi-Finish Trio Blush and Bronzer Face Palette. I totally forgot about this one, but for some reason I couldn't get this to work for myself. It wasn't working out. It wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking smooth. It's a little similar to the face palette from Glam Shop. It just wasn't working, and I feel like maybe these are just too pigmented on me. I don't think I should keep it. I like the other face palette much more. Okay, I'm decluttering a lot of face palettes, and actually I was kind of expecting that, but it might end here. Okay, here's the Catrice Jungle Book face palette. I am probably never going to use this bronzer, but I do really like these highlighters and I do like this bronzer. I'm going to keep it for now because I also like the packaging of this collection. We have the Catrice Fallen Colors Baked Bronzer and Highlighting Palette. This is one of the best collections Catrice has ever done. I love the vibes. I love the highlighters in here. Here I would reach for. This was amazing. It's amazing. The Mushroom Face Palette by Luna Beauty with 4 highlighters is really beautiful. This is absolutely stunning. And for some reason I reach more quickly for face palettes where it's all the same. Like it's just highlighters, it's just blushes, it's just bronzers. And this is like one of my favorite products of the year. I haven't used it in a bit, but it's really nice. Then this Nude Prism Blush face palette, I think it's really beautiful. I love the soft tones with a pop of bright. Like I don't use them a lot, but I do love the vibe. Like this is what I go into. I think this is really beautiful. And then we have the Moon Prism Blush, the OG blush palette from Luna Beauty. And this one also has some softer tones. It has a glowy blush. I am gonna keep it. I really love this one. Then I have 2 cases from Made by Mitchell. I have the Curve case, and this was the lighter Curve case. I feel like this is a little too light and too olivey for me. And then we have the Comet case, and this is quite cute. I like the highlighters in here. Do I want to keep this one? I kind of feel like I should buy the light one, but I do like some of the blushes in here. I think I want to try this one again, like when I'm more fair than when I first tried it. So I'm still gonna keep these. Oh, by the way, this one I'm still reviewing as well. This is the Finding Dory Liquid Bronzer by Catrice. Really like it. This is a great formula and also a doe foot applicator. So I'm pretty happy about that. This is a really nice color. Highly recommend. For now. I still have to use it a little bit more, but like if you see it anywhere, like I like it so far. Then we have the Kiko Milano Little Mermaid Duo Stick Bronzer and Highlighter. Do I feel like I still need this in my life? This stick bronzer is a little bit more tuggy in a way than the one from their regular line. But I like it. It's working for me. I'm gonna put this in a maybe pile. I'm gonna think about it because it's not a bad product. Then what I'm gonna declutter is this Holiday Skin 4-in-1 Luminizer. This is just way too deep on me. I'm just way too fair for this. One of my subscribers, she did buy it and really loved it, but she has a deeper skin tone than I do. So like it can still work for you. For me, it isn't it. It's too dark. It's a little bit too shimmery. Like it looks very like artificial on me. So I'm gonna declutter this one. Then I'm gonna declutter this one as well. I could have convinced myself to keep this, but I now have this one and this packaging is just amazing and the color is the same. Like this works so well. Now that I have this one, I don't feel like I want to force myself to deal with this packaging that I so hate. So I'm gonna declutter this one. I didn't think I was gonna declutter so many things from that Summer Obsessed collection by Catrice because I did enjoy it in a way, like the video and the vibe. Like I was pretty excited about it, but I have to be realistic and the products were just not perfect. Like they could have been better. They could have made it a little better. Here I have the Catrice Sun Glow Matte Bronzing Powder. This makes me look very bronzy. I quite like it. I'm gonna keep it. This is the NARS Laguna 01. cream bronzer, and this is one I kind of forgot about, but I do really like this formula. I do really like this color on me. I want to use that again soon. Apparently I put this one in here with my bronzers. I think I had room. This is the Revolution Prism powder. This one I didn't really understand. It was from one of their collections that I've tried. Like, I didn't really get the point of this one. You can kind of like brighten, but I don't really think I need this in my life. I'm gonna declutter this one. Then we have the Catrice Sun Melted Cream Bronzer. I really like this one. Also makes me look very, very bronze. Like, this makes me look like a bronze goddess instantly. Really nice. Then we have this GlossGods You Are Thoughtful cream bronzer, and this is a very olivey cream bronzer. It definitely has a little bit of that poopy green undertone. It works for me, but also I'm not olive, and things that are a little bit more rosy just work better on me. Just look at how like sort of green that looks. I do really like this formula. I think it's a great formula, but I need another shade, and I got this in kind of like a bundle deal with their new Cloud bronzer. I think I have to be honest with myself. I really need to cut down. I'm going crazy, so I'm gonna declutter this. Yes, I think I'm gonna. Like, I'd rather just buy the right shade once I buy from GlossGods again, which will probably be when they do another eyeshadow palette. Here we have the Goddess Glow Cream Contour and Bronze in Light by Revolution Pro. And I just find this packaging not very good. And it's just super messy, and it's just like the product is everywhere, and I don't get the cap off. Like, I've heard people really loving on this product, and I understand because the formula is nice, but the packaging is just really annoying. And because of that, I don't reach for this one. Every time I'm like, am I gonna declutter this? What am I doing? I think I'm gonna let this one go. I hate this packaging too much. Here we have a SheGlam bronzer. I'm moving away from SheGlam. I did a few SheGlam reviews like a year or two ago. This is a cream like stick bronzer that I never reach for. I think this can go. Then here I have the Kiko Milano Holiday Premiere Enchanting Duo Bronzer in Warm Honey. I just don't feel like this adds a lot to my collection. I don't love this packaging to store. Can I open you? I don't love this packaging to store. Like, this isn't really inspiring me. I'm not really loving the way this is looking. Like, it's a fine bronzer. It's a good bronzer even. But I do have a lot of bronzers that I really like. And like, this was limited edition. I don't think it's still available. I'm gonna declutter this. The Made by Mitchell Bronze Pots bronzer. I just feel like there are too many shimmer specks in this. I don't feel like it's looking like I want it to look on my skin. I just really see those shimmer specks. I think I'm just gonna accept that this is not my type of, not my type of bronzer. Yeah, I'm gonna declutter this. It's a bummer. Okay, next up we have this Kiko Milano Happy B-Day Vellezza Baked Bronzer in 02 Sienna. This is one of my favorite bronzers in my collection, definitely keeping it. I've only kept like a few bronzers so far, like we're really cutting it down. Then the Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer in Light. I really like. It's very pigmented. I used it a lot. It makes me look super, super bronzed. Here is the Holiday Skin Luminous Bronzer by Catrice. Love this skin-like finish. I'm keeping it. Also beautiful color. Then we have the by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in Light Medium. This looks very natural on the skin, and it's not always what I'm going for, but I think I'm gonna be keeping it for now. Then the Catrice and Winnie the Pooh Soft Glow Bronzer. This is a pretty cute bronzer, but I feel like I can let this go. I don't feel like I'm gonna miss this if I let it go. Then the Maxi Baked Bronzer from the Catrice and the Joker collection. I feel like this is a pretty good bronzer. Once again, there's definitely nothing wrong with this. But also I feel like, am I gonna miss this? I don't really like how bulky the packaging is. But am I too strict with these declutters? I think I won't miss this. I think I can let this go. And then Kiko Milano Gold Reflection Sunkissed Baked Bronzer in Sienna. I'm definitely keeping. I love this formula. Like, this is so good. Okay, I'm keeping some things. I'm keeping some limited edition things as well. Like, sometimes limited editions don't vibe with you, you don't vibe with them. Then I have here the Kiko Milano Beauty Roar 2-in-1 Cushion Bronzer and Contour. This is also that like squeegee tube situation. I feel like it's a little messy. Like, this was really easy to use, by the way. Like, this had such a little pigment. Like, this was the most subtle bronzer in the world, but also in a way really easy to use. I'm gonna put this in a baby powder. I'm gonna keep this Essence Contouring Duo Stick because I do really like the contouring bronzer side. This is really easy to blend, really easy to use. Here we have the Kiko Milano Festival Glow Baked Bronzer in Burnt Sienna. Is this the same thing as this other one, or am I going crazy? Like, this is, I think, a similar formula. And a similar color, like very similar. I think I'm gonna get rid of the Festival Glow one and I'm gonna keep the Gold Reflections one because I just like that color slightly better, and I fell in love with this one. Like, this is so good, and like, this is pretty old. I think it can go. Okay, gonna be putting some bronzes in here because I need some space. Alright, the last basket. I have here the Colourpop Matte Bronzer in Avila Beach. I've actually been using this a bit lately and I've actually been liking it. I am keeping it. I like the color of that one. It is working pretty well for me. I have here this Kiko Milano bronzer. This is the Creator Balance Color Boost Face Bronzer in 01 Sienna. I mentioned this in my favorites of last year. And I still very much agree with this. This is a really nice bronzer. Here I have the Essence Baby God Bronzer Stick Bronzer. I really like it. This is really, really nice. Easy to use. I'm gonna keep it. Then this Too Faced Melting Bronzing and Sculpting Stick in Chocolate Mousse. This is the lightest shade, but it's so pigmented. It's so creamy that it's too much for me. Like, it's not easy to use. It's too deep on my skin. It does smell really nice, like chocolate orange. I was really excited about this and I wished this would have been my thing. It wasn't. I'm gonna declare it. It's not like an objectively bad product by any means, but it's just not for me. Here we have the Essence Baby God Bronze Liquid Bronzers. I really like these. I think these are really nice. The packaging is still like looking pretty good. Like, it's not too messy just yet. I am gonna be keeping these. Here we have the Made by Mitchell Blush Balm. This is fine. This is a little tuggy. It's a pretty good color. I think it's fine. I think I'm gonna keep it for now because it's pretty new. I don't hate it. There could still be like something happening between us. These are Revolution Bronzing Drops. I hated these. Made my skin look so dry. I didn't like the way this looked at all. This is a declutter. Then here we have the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. I really like it. I have Buttercup. I think this is the lightest shade. It's a beautiful kind of like glowy bronze. I was cut off by my camera. I don't know where exactly, but this is a Charming Escape Silky Bronzer in Unique Sienna. I really love this formula, so I am keeping both shades that I have in this. Here I have the She Glam Golden Sun Sun Sculpt Liquid Contour. I do really love the shade of this and I do really love the way it blends and looks on the skin. I'm gonna be keeping this one. Then I have here the Kiko Milano Sculpting Touch Creamy Stick Contour in 203. This is a little bit more of a bronzy shade. The other one is a little lighter. I am keeping that one. I have here the She Glam Sunside Bronzer. This is in Morning Beam. This is one I can let go of. I think this is not super special. So if I like something from She Glam still, I will keep it. If I don't, I will just get rid of it. Okay, here we have the Milani Cheek Kiss in Hey Honey. This one a lot of people loved. For me, this looked really patchy on me. I didn't get it to look good on me. I'm gonna declutter this. I don't know if it's gonna be like a worst of the year kind of product, but it's just was very meh for me. Then we have another one of these NARS Laguna. This is the OG from the OG collection. This one is now Laguna 02, I think. Like this is one step deeper, but it's still like working really well for my skin tone. It's really easy still to blend out. I do really like the color of that. I'm gonna keep that. Then the Be Perfect bronzer, I kind of want to use more. This is quite a nice cream bronzer. I quite like the shade of this. It's very nice and compact. I have shade Sand. Here we have the Essence Drop of Sunshine Bronzing Drops. I do really like these. I feel like they work really well for my fair and dry skin. Like this is very fair and dry skin, like proof. So I'm gonna keep that. This is the GlossGods Cloud Bronzer. I don't really like this packaging. Like it's such a big packaging for such a small pan, and then this product is so lightly pigmented. You have to go in and in and in and in. But once it is on the skin, it does look pretty good. So I'm going to be keeping it because I kind of like it, even though it takes me quite some time. Then I have here the Blossoming Beauty Floral Bronzer in Bright Sienna. This is from one of my favorite collections Kiko Milano has done. I love their floral collections. I'm going to be keeping this around for now. Then here I have the Kiko Milano Lost in Amalfi Bronzer and Highlighter Duo in 02 Sun Kissed. This I bought in a shade that's too dark. Like this is too dark, this is too warm. I'm gonna declutter this with pain in my heart. I should have gotten the lighter shade for sure. I have realized that I need to like be a little light-handed with my bronzer, with just my skin tone and undertone, and I should try the more lighter, subtle, cool tone shades. Then here I have the Holiday Skin Bronze and Glow palette. This is quite a nice duo from Catrice. I am keeping this. And then one of my favorite face palettes in my collection, I actually put this with the bronzers. This is the Contour Obsession by Kiko Milano in 02. I really like the bronzers in here. They look very creamy on the skin. I really like the highlighter. I am keeping that one. And then I have this Revolution bronzer. This is the Mega Bronzer in 1 Cool. Mine makes a little bit of a sound effect. I don't know what's going on with this one. I do quite like this one. It looks quite nice on the skin. I'm gonna keep it. And then I have the Catrice Matte Face and Body Bronzer. This was from their Tropic Exotic limited edition, and I do really like the formula of this one. I think I'm gonna keep it because I do use it like from time to time because it's a really nice color as well. Okay, this is the Maybe Pal, and I kind of feel like even though these are not bad products, I can get rid of them. I don't feel like I really need this in my collection. I have things to kind of like use instead of this, because also the Essence ones I feel like are just a little easier to use than this one, because this one is so lightly pigmented. Like then it's like you have to put in so much effort to build up the product. So I'm gonna declutter these as well. Like I'm really in a bronzer decluttering mode. Okay, I decluttered 24 products in this declutter, and that I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I've decluttered a lot, and there's a lot of bronzers that I just don't feel like I really need in my life anymore. Also because I think it's good to have some staple bronzers, and I love some bronzer, but I also don't feel like I need 1,000. Okay, I'm gonna organize a little bit and I will be right back with how it's all looking, the end result. All right, I'm showing you what the baskets are looking like right now. Like they are not overflowing anymore. I still have some products that are not landing in these baskets just yet because I still have to review them. But this is like looking pretty good. And there are some that I might declutter in the spring if I feel like I haven't really touched them. Then we also have the face palettes. Like this basket is looking pretty good. I don't have a crazy amount of space, but at least we have some more space. And I feel pretty good about what I have here. And then next to that, of course, we have the products that I'm still reviewing, which are not that many when it comes to bronzers. Like it's just a few. Yeah, this one pretty good. I think this was a pretty chill declutter. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.